And so guys, we succeeded as the Dutch East Indies. This is the Netherlands-Indonesian Union and it controls the UK. It is 1941 and we defeated the Allies. The US is out of the question. We have good manpower, we have a very solid infantry, and we have an absolutely insane Mountaineers template that you can see right here. And look at the stats above my head. This is absolutely crazy and a lot of fun to use. Also, we did Snow Mountaineers as Indonesia. What's better than that? Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Thunder at Our Gates might not be the DLC we hoped for, but there is one path that is significantly more powerful than others, and that allows us to expand in Europe and even capitulate the UK before the US gets involved. So what I have for you today is a super optimized version of this path. One I spent a stupid amount of hours developing, and I cannot wait to share it with you. If that sounds interesting, you're in the right place. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. Don't forget to join our Discord to meet our amazing community. And then as always guys, if you enjoy the content I make, liking, subscribing and leaving a comment really helps, and it's free. That said, let's get started. Yes, one quick note before we start. I am recording this in the latest version of the open beta, since they made some significant changes for our run today, such as the ability to move our capital later in the run. By the time this guide releases, these changes, at least the first part of the open beta, the one that concerns the Dutch East Indies, should have been implemented in the live version of the game too. Then as usual, all research and focus priorities are in the description, so they will not be covered in the edited version. And the dedicated spreadsheet covering all steps in detail is available to Tier 2 members in our shared folder. Okay, so here is our building priority. We go for 3 infrastructures in Medan because this gives us a lot of rubber, which will be helpful later in the run. And then we go straight away for civilian factories in Batavia. For this run we need a lot of civilian factories to become independent. I will not cover the building priority from now on, because once we are done building these, we will just be building military factories in the best available provinces, meaning the ones with the highest infrastructure level. This is our military production priority. In terms of the army, for now we're only going to use this template, which I'm going to rename after a tier 4 member of the channel. Gator Cat, today you get our inf. We are going to rename it, and then we're going to change all of our divisions to this template. We can shift click and start training them all the way up to regular, and then we're going to recruit another 3 to have a full army of 24. And this is the initial setup already done. And guys, since this is not alive, I'm not supposed to be in it, so let me remove myself from the video. Test. All right, let's go. As soon as we complete this focus, we unlock some new decisions. We can now sell rubber for various things. The very first thing we're going to do is use rubber for bribery. We do it only once for the extra political power we get. When we get this event, we're going to pick We Must Begin. And then as soon as we are at 100 political power, we're going to pick the Independence Activist. Once we get the first batch of political power here, we are going to pick Acknowledged, and we're going to start a new one, this time for civilian industry. Now this one we will be doing on cooldown, so every time you get the event, pick the one to continue it until I tell you otherwise. So we're now going to pick the Indonesian minister to further boost the autonomy gain. And now at 25 political power, we can pick these new decisions. We are going to start with abolish the education quota system. Now, in my experience, the Netherlands always accepts. If they refuse, this is a bit annoying. I'm sure some of you will get it. I did get it in a few test runs. It's very, very rare, however. if you do get it, you might consider restarting, especially if it is one of the first ones, because it's very annoying. When they refuse, you don't get that autonomy, so it will slow down the run significantly. Here we are going to pick Bonifacio. Here we are going to pick Bonifacius Cornelis. It's done well. We keep our leader, which is now actually amazing for the political power gain. And now we can design a new template. We're going to create an empty one. Dr. Hoops. This time you will have a chill cover template to manage our garrisons. So very basic, but very important because we actually have a lot of occupied land. So we're going to change to local police force and cover. And as you can see, this is significantly cheaper both in terms of manpower and production costs compared to Inf. Okay, so this is what happens most of the time. In fact, actually, so this is what happens 90%, 99 maybe even % of the time. So they simply accept, you get some autonomy, and you get the bonuses from here. Here again on cooldown. Now we're going for open education. Now we're going to pick legalize the display, and at the same time we can raise our autonomy to colony. Now it's worth mentioning this. It's worth mentioning this now. The Netherlands, after picking this focus, can unlock some of their own focuses here. Now, some of them are actually beneficial. We get some buffs from them. Other ones, though, decrease our autonomy. They always pick this one, so we always get a -100 autonomy from here. However, it is quite annoying when they pick this one, because this is plus 250 or minus 250 autonomy. So this is the only bit of RNG that is in the run. If they go straight down this path, they can complete this one in time, sometimes even this one, though it's very rare. And if that happens, we will be slightly delayed later on. It is already in the focus priority, but I will mention it when we get to that point. For now, we're fine. Now here we get a lot of political power. We're going to use it all. Starting with the nationalist scholar. And following with partial mob. We're now going for reduce the private rubber export tax. And we can finally start building up some army experience with the army defense expert. Actually, we already have a lot of army experience because we picked this focus, which is actually amazing. Okay, so it looks like the Netherlands is investing in the stuff here. So this time, possibly they are likely to pick this one. It's still not guaranteed. Sometimes they pick the other ones here. Now these ones don't give any... Now these ones do not reduce autonomy at all. The only ones that really reduce autonomy are this one and this one. Technically this one too, but I've never seen them picking it. Now let me show you something you can do here. It's a little cheesy, but you can try this. If this focus is open now, you can try to fuck up... You can try to mess up the priority for the Netherlands so that they cannot pick it. So assuming that they have a focus available now, if we select it and then we'll let 10 days go and 9 days go, or 9 days go. Well, in the meantime, we also need to pick... PES anti-discriminate, PES anti... Well, we also need to pick this decision. Okay, so we wait a few more days and we cancel it. We actually don't want to pick this focus. We don't lose anything by doing this, but if the Netherlands was picking the focus on... But if the Netherlands was picking the focus right when finishing the previous one, now this one should not be available anymore. It's not guaranteed to work, but worth a try. do the same trick again. Technically, you can do this for every focus, just in case. Now we're going to pick one of these two, doesn't matter which one, they do the same thing. Now, after completing this focus, we need to do a little bit of a setup because we are now democratic, which is actually very cool. For example, we can pick right away relief of command, which is amazing. Also, from now on, we're going to get military factories, not civilian factories. So here we go for acknowledged, and then we pick rubber to pay for military industrial expansion. We can now also replace this advisor, and we're going to pick which one? So we're going to swap him with the collaborationist for the extra autonomy gain. Now this will create a bit of an issue in terms of war support, but even if you get the event to demobilize your economy, it's fine. The war support will rise again above 25%, so don't worry about it. Finally, we're going to pick officialize the Indonesian flag. So by the way, I still do this trick to pick this focus for like 9 days every time to prevent the Netherlands from picking it, just to reduce RNG. But again, it doesn't matter, the run accounts for the possibility that they pick it, so don't worry if they pick it. It will just be one focus later. Okay, we're now going to pick the Air Reformer Expert. Followed by the very cheap Military Theorist. And now we can pick some doctrines. We are going to start with the Grand Battle Plan. It will be our main doctrine, but we will rely heavily on Special Forces in this run. So we go for Elite Special Forces. And then we go for Cold Weather Specialists. It's quite the investment in terms of army experience, but it will be worth it. Now we also want the production of Infantry Equip to go to 10, but we will put them at the bottom of the priority, so down here. And we want to start adjusting trade, but we will ignore small deficits of 1 or 2. So when it's more than 2, we fix it. And as you can see, demobilize our economy goes away because the war support eventually grows back above 25%. Okay, so now is the RNG part of the run. When you get... second. Alright, so after completing this focus is the... Alright, so after completing this focus is the part of the run that changes depending of RNG. If the Netherlands was able to complete this focus, you will not have enough autonomy to raise the level to Dominion, so you cannot pick this one. However, if you can raise the autonomy, you should go for this one right away. And that's what we're going to do right now, because we managed to prevent the Netherlands from picking this focus. If you cannot, you can find it in the description, but you can just pick this one first, and then you will still have the autonomy, so no big deal. We're going to raise autonomy to Dominion, and we're going to proceed to the unification. We need to complete 2 more focuses for that. But also, let me do the trick once more, just in case. Now we're also going to pick allow the Indonesian language in schools. If you're watching the unedited version, I noticed some inconsistency in my research priority. I must have missed this one that was not on the list. And the question is what to do after the next one, because I wrote to do Excavation 1. Excavation 1 is actually very good because we can then pick this focus here, which is quite powerful. However, it might be a bit early now. Well, I guess we do Excavation 1 now, and then we do the support weapons up with the next one. Most likely. Yeah, I guess that could work. What are we doing in terms of... sorry. Because we also need construction too. Yeah, we're missing a construction from here. So we definitely need construction up. Okay. Okay, all good. Okay, this was the last research we needed. Now we can design our SPGs. And we're going to do it right away. So this is the design we are going for. We can save it and we can start producing them. We're going to assign 5 military factories to them and bring them to the top of the priority, so the next 5 factories will all go to SPGs. Alright, now we can go for this one, because even if they pick... now we can go for the unification, so we got the good RNG in the end. Even if they pick this one now, they will not complete it in time to stop us. Now we're going to start, we're going to deploy this infantry and assign it to the main army and train them, but then especially we want to design our mountaineers. Vegeta, today you get the cool ones, you get Alps, this will be the big carry in our upcoming wars. And for now, we don't need to fix them entirely, but we can start by adding the required amount of Mountaineers battalions, which is 6. Then we're going to add SPGs. Can we do that already? Yeah, we can actually do that already. It's not fully done. We also need a couple of infantry guns in here. And then we need the support, recon rangers, artillery, and anti-air. But they will come over time because we don't have the army experience yet. We want to make them elite, want to save them, and we want to recruit the max amount, which should be 4. Now, we also got the decisions to integrate several provinces here. This will make them our cores, which will mostly help with manpower, and that's very important. So we're going to pick all of these decisions right now. In the meantime, I'll keep adding the support companies here, but we also want to deploy them as soon as possible. And we wanted to constantly train them. So do not train them all the way up to regular, just constant train them. And that's very important to unlock mastery perks down here. We can now also pick the first air spirit. We go for branch independent spirit. And these guys are basically ready. And as you can see now, we are covered even in case they picked this focus with poor timing, because we have more than 250 autonomy. More importantly though, as soon as we complete this focus, and it is only September 1938, a historic accord for both nations, and we become the Netherlands. Or better, we become the Netherlands-Indonesia Union, though we are the Queen of the Netherlands. And we become non-aligned. So now we need to do a little bit of a setup right away. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fire the 2 advisors that give democracy support. We don't want to lose our 100% non-aligned. So we're going to fire this guy. Also, we don't need autonomy anymore, of course. And we're going to fire this one. This one is a bit more sad because war support and research speed are actually good. But we have better advisors to pick later on. So goodbye, nationalist scholar. Now, the first advisor we want to pick right away is the representative of Catholic affairs to boost political power gain. The next thing we want to do at this point is we finally got a navy, and it's very important that we have this navy because we need to use it to get navy experience. So we're going to gather it all in the Netherlands. The Netherlands will become the core of our activities from now on. And we're going to constantly train the navy on never repair. We want to merge them all in here. The main purpose of this navy is to give us navy experience. We also want to adjust the production a little bit. So this is the new military production priority. We also got a few free dockyards, actually a lot of dockyards. It looks like the Netherlands built more dockyards than other stuff this time. There is a bit of RNG, of course, as to what the Netherlands builds. Yeah, I don't particularly hate having more dockyards. For now you can put them on convoys, but as soon as possible we'll be making the usual torpedo destroyers. Sorry, no, we're not going to pick this. We're going to pick the fate of Bank of Indonesia. Are we? I'm not 100% sure about this move. Let's go Bangsha. Okay, never mind. Yes, it should be good because we have enough political power. Lurus!
Siap bergerak.
Alright, so now we're going to make some changes to our infantry. We're going to add 3 infantry guns and we're going to add support artillery to them. We can save it. We can duplicate it to a new template. Andrew, you will get this one. And this will be off. Actually a good template. That will be very important later in the run. So for now it's the same design, but we will be changing it later. Now we got some new divisions from the Netherlands. We're going to change all of these new divisions into Inf. And we're going to change our 24 divisions here into Off. Then we want to recruit enough Inf to have another full army. And if you did, and most of the time that's 16 divisions. Okay, let me make the save since we did the setup here. Sadly, we lose relief of command, so from now on getting army experience is a bit slower, but we still have some fantastic modifiers. Now, what we need to do next, quite quickly, is adjust our inf to be only 18 width. So we want this template here. And we also want to deploy them as soon as possible. And we need to keep training them as well. Once they're all deployed, we can start setting them up for the upcoming wars. There is some time, but we can do the setup right now. So, what we need is our offensive army to be entirely in the Netherlands. They will be ready to push into Belgium. We also want to train them all the way up to regular. We're also going to send our mountaineers here and also get them ready to push into Belgium. For them, we keep constantly training them. As for the infantry, here the setup is a little bit more complex, so we want a couple of groups of 6 that we're going to position here to push into this part of Malaya, and here to push into the northern part here of the island, and the other 12 will be pushing into Singapore. Now we want all of these guys to be under the same marshal. We're going to pick one of the Dutch ones. This one is pretty good. Then the best one for our mountaineers, the most important template. The second best will be with off. The other ones really don't matter much. And then we also want at least mountaineers and offensive divisions to be with the highest motorization priority and aggressively execute battle plans. We're also going to deploy the army HQ. Later on we're going to redesign it a little bit for these 3 armies here. Make sure that these guys are training. Alright, so when we complete this focus, we're going to pick we should try, and then we're going to immediately pick the central bank concern. Okay, now we want to pick tip of the spear here. That's okay that we lost the relief of command because we need this one. And we need it soon because we want to recruit the max amount of mountaineers right away. That should be 8 to have a total of 12 in our army. By the way, guys, if you don't have the Special Forces doctrines, you can do this with regular infantry. Doesn't have to be mountaineers. Of course, mountaineers are better, but you can do this with regular infantry, and if you do it with regular infantry, you will have a lot more army experience to invest into your regular doctrine, so that's totally fine too. Okay, now we're going to make some changes to our off. The first one is easy and it doesn't require army experience. So now this is a consequence of the new regimental companies. You always want your templates to be wide, let's say, in groups of 3. Because the more groups of 3 you have, the more you can add regimental companies. So the final goal here is to add 3 more infantries here, another 2 infantry guns, and then also support anti-air and support rangers. We're going to do that over time because we don't have the army experience right now. Oh, the Netherlands didn't invest at all in infrastructures. Bad Netherlands, bad. That's sad. I will cripple our infantry, cripple our industry a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, more importantly, at 25 Navy experience, we can finally design our torpedo destroyers. Find it? Yeah. It is the basic version, but it's still okay. It will still get the job done. So we're going to save it. And we're going to produce as many of them as possible. We reduce the production of convoys to only 1. Now, why the hell are they not training together? That's very sad. That's why we got the Navy experience so late. Meanwhile, I keep adjusting off. Now we're going to pick the Minister of Finance. And with Recon Rangers, our off are also fully done. Now we want to deploy the Mountaineers always as soon as possible. Here we're going to pick invest in our cities.
Ada perintah?
And then we're going to replace the Indonesian minister, this guy, with the war industrialist. Next, we're going to pick the decisive battle specialist. And then if you have additional things you can core, do it. This depends, there is a bit of RNG. It also depends on this focus. So once this is done, it's possible that we get some additional cores, but it's not guaranteed.
Dengar. Siap laksanakan.
Let's see if we get extra cores. It does not look like that. That's a bit sad. We will be a bit shorter on manpower in this run. Again, there is a bit of RNG because it depends on when, on where the buildings go. Yeah, by the way, if you're wondering what we're waiting for now, it's simply because the war tension is too low, and Paradox made it so that non-aligned countries cannot do shit if the war tension is too low. We cannot create a faction, so we're completely stuck until Germany starts World War II. And then we want to attack Belgium, but justifying on Belgium takes too long, so we'll actually wait for Germany to attack Belgium as well. We'll get to that point in a little bit. But this part of the run is, while there is not much activity in this part of the run, this is very important. We are massively building up our industry, and we're going to do so. And we're going to do so even more with the next two focuses, which are actually amazing. This one for another minus 15% consumers good factories, and then industry boom, for plus 20% construction speed. Alright, so now we're going to pick the Inspector of Engineers Genius. Look at this, minus 15% supply consumption is quite amazing. At this point, we also want to make some adjustments to our army HQ. In fact, we want to add the Special Forces 1, the Forward Air Controller, and then I usually just go for a Recon. Naval Liaison is also okay. Now, we will need to train them again. Not that it matters that much, because they shouldn't fight, but... More importantly, we also need to create an agency. We need to start improving relations with Germany, because we need a non-aggression pact with them. Otherwise, they will attack us, not Belgium. Now, at this point of the run, technically there is enough war tension to justify on Belgium. This is not always the case, and it's more expensive to justify on Belgium. Technically, though, if you justify on Belgium now, instead of waiting for Germany to attack them, you can conquer them a little bit faster. I'm talking about like 20 days faster than if you wait for Germany. So I prefer to wait for Germany. Especially since we're a bit behind with our equipment, so we actually need the extra time, I think. We're also going to pick the first doctrine here, Grand Assault. Then for the Navy, guys, I will not be mentioning it. For the Navy, guys, I will not be mentioning it, but what we're doing is a trade interdiction, then we're going into selective engagement, and then we're going into torpedo primacy, and the other one that I forgot. Well, let me show you when we get to it. God damn it, this thing. Why don't they train together? It's insane. What the fuck are you doing? Motherfucker. That's why we don't get Navy experience, because these fuckers keep split. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Can I have this? Can I have this Navy together, please? Can you fucking do what I tell you? What the? Wait a sec. What? Ah, this one. Have a bit less Navy experience than usual because of this. Okay, the spy we need to use on diplomatic pressure on Germany, otherwise we cannot get the non-aggression pact, which is very important. Speaking of which, if you don't have access to spies, it's a bit of a problem, because Germany will attack you. So if that happens, what you need to do, if you don't have spies, you need to justify on France earlier, before Germany attacks you. And you need to attack France so that Germany invites you to their faction. That can happen even if you don't have the non-aggression pact. Okay, with the spy we have a bit more flexibility. Okay, now I can finally show you this build. So trade interdiction into selective engagement into torpedo primacy, line of battle, and then it doesn't matter. Okay, so next we're going to pick the infantry expert, and guys, do not forget the non-aggression pact with Germany. Not that it happened to me, no. Just saying, just in case, don't forget it. It's bad if you forget it. Alright, let's go. Well, the good news is we're almost done. The bad news is we are a bit behind with SPGs, but we're now producing them quite well, so we'll get there. By the way, as you can see, by constantly training our mountaineers, we are burning through a bit of equipment, but we are unlocking mastery perks. We'll get close to the third one, which is very important because this is the combat with reduction that we can use later on in this same run. We're very unlucky with cores because we didn't get any additional one. But there we go. So Germany declares war on Denmark. Not that we care particularly about Denmark, but this is the right timing to justify our war goal on France. By doing this, we will get the claim more or less when Germany attacks Belgium, so we can start the offensive at the same time. We also completed this focus. After completing this focus, we get a nice discount for land doctrines that we are going to use for assault infantry. Now, after this, we're going to prioritize political loyalty. Now it seems useless, but when we are at war, it will help a lot with stability. And the next one will be logistical focus before we complete the additional doctrines in here. Of course, we're going for self-propelled support and streamlined deployment. Next. As for the air doctrines, I actually like to go torpedo swarm tactics because we will be building a lot of naval bombers in a bit. And here we get another awesome minus 15% supply consumption. So almost time for action. And as you can see, our industry is now doing very good. We're upgrading our guns and our SPGs are almost ready. Alright, we can now pick logistical focus, active engagement. And we're almost ready, so let's stop training, because soon we will need to start this offensive. We still got a lot of mastery, which is awesome. We can start these 2 offensives already. We're just waiting for Germany now. We can also start these offensives, by the way, we don't need to micro them. Germany, please don't do weird stuff. Please don't do weird stuff. Okay. Adolf scared me for a second here. This was a bit late. Luxembourg, then Belgium will follow shortly after, a couple of days usually. Alright, there we go. So as soon as they attack Belgium, we can attack France. Belgium will be cold, and then Germany will invite us to defection. But right away, we can already pick war economy, which is fantastic. Yeah, okay, we need to stop training our navy, because now it's in a bit of a dangerous spot. Oh, let's send it back. And let's indeed repair it. We can also sign a very good admiral. This guy is actually fantastic, so we go for him. We can give him the destroyer leader, lancer, and loading drill master. This will make our torpedo destroyers very effective. Now we're also going to move the capital to Amsterdam. This is one of the new things they introduced in the open beta, but it will be live when you watch this video most likely. So by moving the capital here, supplies will rotate around this place, which will make it much easier for us to push into France and especially later on into Spain. On the other hand, we will lose access to supplies of rubber from here during various phases of the war. It's not particularly relevant, it's okay. We'll need to ignore trade for a bit. So let's move the capital. Let me just wait for this one first though. So that may be cancelled if we don't do it carefully. Yeah, we can slow down, but as you can see, Belgium is getting destroyed very quickly. Okay, now we can move the capital. It's a little bit safer. And in here, of course, we want to push into France. However, here what you could do is to get a little bit more score and especially a bit more land, you can try not to capitulate France right away, so not to take Paris right away. And also, you want to accept this event. It's very important because if you ask them to join their faction, they will refuse. So we need to accept their request. It expires on the 1st of June. Until the 1st of June, you have some time where you can try to get additional land without being involved with Germany. Now here we do need to keep an eye on them because sometimes they stop pushing like idiot, like this guy for example. Yeah, it's next to the harbors, but why would you take the harbors, right? That's not important. Once you take the harbors, nobody can come here, but they just don't take them. Here I would love to cut off the Germans completely. Having the capital in here, we can actually import from the Soviet Union and Portugal, which is quite convenient. It looks like we're done here. Nice. Now the hardest one is Singapore. It's also the most important one. So if needed, use a force attack. Try to push them in there. And here I'm going to stop the offensive so we can micro them a bit more. So if we don't want to take Paris, we need some microing. Okay, that pang was us taking Singapore. So now we can keep pushing into the Malaya. And now we can merge these units back in there. Now technically you could also send them here to protect against Australia, but I usually don't care. And just send them in here. Yeah, that was the wrong offensive. Be careful. Okay, let's kill this guy, but not take Paris. Perfect. We don't want to delay it by too long because we need to justify on Vichy France as soon as possible as well. Okay, that's nice. I'm happy with this. Now, the primary goal is to get close to Vichy France. And if you already occupy this land, that's optimal. Now we can take Paris. And as we do that, we expand as much as possible. There we go. France is down. Germany took most of it, but we still have a cool part of it. Now we want to join Germany. And now we want to give Germany control of Paris. And that's because we absolutely need Vichy France. Now, by the way, this is the new strategy that you can use whenever you can join the Axis to take the UK. Since Paradox made it impossible to defeat the Royal Navy with a small fleet, all we can do is take Vichy France. And that can be a little bit annoying, but that's the only way to proceed and invade the UK, unless you can afford a lot of air. Speaking of air, I completely forgot, but at this point of the run, we actually want to make some naval bombers. So yeah, I don't have the design because it's with the Interwar 1, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. A very, very basic one will do. So we're going to use this naval bomber here. We're going to save it. And we're going to produce a lot of them. So 15, but maybe even 20 is okay. And we're going to take them from SPGs. Okay, so what we're waiting for now is for Vichy France to be formed. And once Vichy France is formed, we want to invade it as soon as possible. Which means we need to save some political power for the justification. Meanwhile, let's see what's happening here. Doing stupid shit, as usual. It's okay, can work. There we go. So we got Vichy France. We don't have a border with them yet, but we're going to ask Germany to give us some land there. The most important thing though is we want to justify on Vichy France right away. And at the same time, we also want to justify on Spain. Right, so now we need to ask Germany to give us some land here because we need at least one bordering tile with Vichy France to attack them. Unless we can pick this one. I don't know if we can, probably not. Would be very useful. Okay, so to do that, we first need to give control of something to Germany. We can give them something in here. And even though it's a bit painful, we can also give them stuff in here. We don't need this very much. And worst case scenario, if they still don't accept, you can give them stuff in here too. Though this one would be it would be better to keep it. No, it looks like they accept to give us stuff, so that's perfect. We now ask for control of state. And oh, they give us a lot of stuff. That's nice. Yeah, we can get the bordering ones with Vichy France. We don't need anything else. Fantastic. Now we can prepare our divisions at the border with Vichy France. Using a spearhead that are now fixed in the open beta. Kind of. Partially. A bit. I mean, now they at least push until where they should push. They're still a bit clunky, to be honest, but it's okay. Now we have some time. We can train our divisions a bit more now. while we wait.
Siap laksanakan.
Okay, Malaya is down.
Berangkat.
Doing an awesome job down here.
Yup, gerak. Luruskan. Luruskan.
And we can... no, logistical focus, we're ready.
Luruskan. Kita diserang. Siap.
Yeah, okay, this is a no supply from capital problem. Now, what you can see here, this no supply from capital issue is problematic here, but it was a massive problem when it happened in Europe, as you can imagine. That was very annoying. Now, what we can do here is we can stop these sea regions. We don't actually want supplies to go through there. Maybe via land we can get some.
Siap.
You can see how divisions are completely unable to push when you get that.
Siap. Lurus. Jaga jarak.
Yeah, but now they have no harbor, so now even without supplies we should be able to
Siap
push.
laksanakan.
Now, as you can see, our manpower is struggling, so the next priority is to go for extensive conscription. Look, some Italians are here. Reggimento Piemonte Cavalleria is here. That's
Ada
crazy.
perintah? Ada perintah?
You don't need to defend naval invasions here, because Germany will do it for you. And they will give you back the land, so you can completely ignore that. I'm also going to pick... okay, now we can integrate some other stuff here. And we got the combat weight reduction for mountaineers. Now, this is fantastic. Let's see if we have enough time to do that now. It looks like we do. So we can bring our Vegeta to its final Super Saiyan form by adding a lot of mountaineers. It's actually not that expensive. We want a combat weight of 27.6. And we're going to add a lot of infantry guns. Oops. We can also add some motorized heavy. This one is more optional, but it does add a lot of breakthrough. So this is the final form, and it is, guys, really, really strong. Insanely strong. Now, one thing to mention, regimental companies will likely be nerfed. They might be nerfed when you watch this guide, but I mean, if they are nerfed, just don't use them or use different ones. I will make a guide on that, but the template is still amazing. And, yes, never mind.
Siap laksanakan. Ada perintah?
Now the trade-off here is that we lose experience, but it's worth it.
Siap bergerak.
Okay, it's time to stop training because we need to attack Vichy soon.
Siap bergerak.
There we go. So when we attack Vichy France, trade will be messed up again, but that's okay. Instantly destroyed. Not that Vichy France is that big of a challenge, of course. Yeah, as you can see, trade is messed up. Don't worry about it, you can ignore it entirely. It will be fixed again after Siam attacks France.
Siap bergerak.
Yeah, let's make sure that their puppets are also in the war, both of them. That's all good. Oh, and here we are done. We have nothing left to do with this army. You can set them on area defense in here. But I don't think the UK will ever invade you, and never happened to me in any case.
Lurus.
Man, but look at this guy's face. It's insane.
Lurus. Siaga. Siap laksanakan.
And we need to keep an eye on Spain. Another 50 days until our claim. We want to, of course, attack them as soon as possible. The timing is fairly close in terms of the US joining. But we have a little bit of a buffer.
Ada perintah? Siap. Lurus.
Yeah, very active in the Benelux. Okay, awesome. We also got trade back.
Siap
Billions of
laksanakan.
times, not just once. Insanely powerful trade. Okay, so now Spain is always Spain, but a bit less Spain with supplies, and that's one of the great things about the open beta. Let's get in position, see if we can trade them let's see if we can train them a little bit more, though we don't have that much time. Of course we can pick self-propelled support. Again. That's fantastic. No, it's lost. And maybe because of this. Come on, Germany, help quickly. Okay, now we don't need the extra political power anymore. We're going to switch this guy for the elusive gentleman. We're going to start upgrading our agency. We want a total of 5 upgrades. Then we're going to be on diplomatic pressure with Japan, and we're going to improve relations to get a non-aggression pact with them. And the other spy we're going to send them, and the other spies will go, and then we will spy the UK.
Laksanakan. Ada perintah?
Okay, painful because they're almost trained, but I need the claim. I mean, I'm getting the claim. So. Now, the very first push here can be a little bit annoying because, as you can see, they have a lot of divisions and it's fortified. Our insane mountaineers will get the job done, as you can see. Getting an encirclement early against Spain would help a lot.
Siaga! Berangkat! Siaga!
They escaped it. Oh my god, don't tell me 1 billion times, please.
Bergerak! Ada perintah? Siap laksanakan!
Okay, non-aggression pact with Japan. Now we can double spy the UK.
Gar. Siap.
Need to give them some supplies just to make the push a bit easier.
Siap, laksanakan. Jalan terus.
Hey, these guys, we have been chasing them forever, including that general.
Siap, gerak.
He keeps running away. It's insane.
Lurus.
We did drop some of them at least here.
Maju.
No, that guy must be captured. Absolutely. It's unacceptable that he's not captured.
Siap, gerak.
He's so fast. Maybe
Maju.
this time we got him.
Siap, bergerak.
Nah!
Tak.
Unbelievable.
Siap.
Oh, I got you. Yes. Yes. No more escaping. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Okay, I'm happy. Now I'm very happy.
Siap. Siap, bergerak.
Then one wonders how the UK and like Australian divisions are fighting against me in Spain, but yeah, who knows? Now, as you know, Spain takes forever to capitulate, so this is still a bit tricky.
Siaga. Luruskan. Luruskan. Siap, bergerak. Ada perintah?
Now, when we get to this point, we need to do a little trick. So we need our offensive divisions to be all in Gibraltar. And we need to push the top part only with the mountaineers. And it's very important that the divisions are in position before you cap Spain.
Siaga.
It should hopefully happen soon.
Luruskan.
So we're going to move them away. Even if we lose some land, it's okay. And we're going to push with the mountaineers up here.
Luruskan. Ayo, ayo.
Hi-yo! Hi-yo!
Gar.
It's very Italian ways. Hi-yo! What's up? Okay, I'm losing it already. Let's focus, let's focus. This run is not that long, and it's not tedious actually. It's pretty fun. It was very tedious when you didn't have any supplies. I was going crazy. It's a live. In a live you can see that. Though maybe it's a members only live, I forgot.
Berangkat. bergerak.
So now it would be a good time for Spain to capitulate. So let's rush the victory points.
Siap, laksanakan.
Should be pretty fast.
Siaga. Siaga.
They still have a lot of divisions somehow. Oh, finally. Now Spain deserves to be Balkanized, always. But we're taking the navy first. And then we Balkanize the motherfuckers. Get resource rights, war operations. Now the cool thing is we get all of these outside of the Allies Peace Conference, so we don't need to be contested by Germany or anything, which is very nice. Okay, confirm. Now as soon as this is done, we need to be fast. We need to manually send these divisions all to this harbor and then rush the victory points in Vichy France to capitulate them. But while we do that, we don't want to waste any time. We're going to start planning our naval invasion of the UK. So 2 groups of 6. One goes in these 3 provinces,
Teruskan.
and the other one goes from here to these 2 tiles here. And now we do have time to train them more. You can also pick well-planned attack, and I forgot to pick it here. We also want it here. Let me add it to the spreadsheet so I don't forget next time. Okay.
Siap.
And let's go. Yeah, sometimes you get intercepted here by subs, but it's okay. It's a sacrifice we are willing to take. We want them to be in position. We want to push the entire front, but you need to take Alger to end the war usually. Let's make them move as fast as possible. Vichy France is also very annoying to capitulate because of this. And we can micro them a little bit. Again, absolute priority is rushing the coastline to Alger.
Ada perintah.
And I usually do that with another army as well, just in case you get stuck somewhere in here. Doesn't look like they have many divisions this time. It should be fine. Where are they invading me? What are they doing? Oh, they took this island. No. No, they're taking this one too. Insane.
Siap. Dengar.
Here too, let's split one of them. There we go, Vichy France down, and that's huge. So of course we want to take the navy, absolute priority to taking the navy. And then I like to Balkanize France, especially I don't like to have Vichy France in here because I give military access to Germany, which is always a bit annoying, but you can proceed to Balkanize them. And that's fantastic. Very, very good. So now we don't need these divisions here anymore. We want to bring them all up here to assist with the invasion of the UK. The last boss of the run. We can train them too, but more importantly, now we have a decent fleet. We can unlock these sea regions. And we need to set up our fleet for the upcoming challenge. So let's gather them all in one. Ideally not there though. Let's gather them in Le Havre. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we absolutely want a Pride of the Fleet. We have several battleships, though they are green, which is not great. Let me see the design. You know what? This doesn't even suck. So... yeah, I guess either one of them is fine. So we're going to make one of these battleships our Pride of the Fleet. Then we're going to split off all of the submarines. The submarines will go to a new theater. We're going to position them in Brest. Can give them an admiral, but we'll split them in groups of one, so it doesn't do anything anyway. Then we'll split off the destroyers. Now these ones are important. See if we can repair them for now, though we don't have that much time. Now what we want to do at this point is we should have a lot of naval bombers that we have been producing. So we're going to set them all on naval strike, naval patrol in the English Channel. Very good. Okay, now subs we're going to split into groups of one, and we're going to set them on convoy raiding everywhere around the UK, except for the English Channel. Fortunately, we lack training. These things are not particularly good, but at least we have a lot of them. Okay, now let's check our naval invasion. We still have some days before it's ready. Always make a backup save, guys, before the UK. It's it's not worth sacrificing a run just because Paradox wanted to make it impossible. And by the way, at this point we can also pick domestic film industry. Are we repairing them? Why does it look like we're not repairing anything? You know, we are repairing them. So these guys, we need to make sure that they are set to Le Havre. And I think we can consider this done. So let's set them on always engage patrol in the English Channel. And these guys on always engage strike force in the English Channel. Now, this part is a bit risky, again, as I was mentioning, but now it's better to always engage at first. We need to destroy a couple of the British patrols, hopefully before they send in the main strike forces. And if we can do that with the support of the airs, with the support of naval bombers, we should be able to get dominance fairly quickly. I will make a new guide. About invading the UK, but since Paradox checks my guides and then nerfs the strategy, I guess for the time being we'll keep it only in these country guides. At least they have to watch the full country guide. Then maybe I'll make it members only, so Paradox needs to pay me to ruin the game. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's not get overexcited. So as you can see, dominance is okay. Now let's see what the UK has in here. Can be either the strike force or the patrol. It's the patrol. When it's the patrol, we're very happy because we can destroy the patrol. When it is the strike force, we are not as happy. But look at dominance, almost like the old times. There we go, we got it already. Even a bit too fast, because my naval invasion is actually not ready for another 20 days. You can see the strategy, and it works. Now, we may get into a bigger engagement here if we stick to this for a bit longer. It's okay. We can afford it, I think. Look at that. Look at this dominance, guys. Fuck Paradox and the UK. Yeah, our submarines are getting destroyed, but we don't care. Air really helps, and as you can see, it's fairly cheap to make just naval bombers. You don't need full air superiority, you just need naval bombers. Only 7 days, boys, and we're going. Okay, that's the bigger fleet of the UK. That will be painful. But I think that's too late for them. Yeah, not so painful after all. We have torpedo destroyers here. And we also get Navy experience. And line of battle really helps. Okay, so one last thing to do, disembarking and managing the invasion. If you want, now you could set these guys on naval invasion support instead to get some shore bombardment. It's usually not required, but the UK may have more divisions than usual. They seem to have a lot of divisions there. Let's also use a force attack just in case. Wow, what do they have here? Oh, 6 divisions. Okay, they may get encircled though. Yeah. We will get encircled. Fantastic here. It's going very well. And we want to take the southern coast entirely very quickly. And it's time to send over the additional divisions. Don't forget that against the UK, timing is incredibly important. You don't want to waste any time. It's true that we have submarines, and submarines really help stop their reinforcements. Even with that, even considering that, it's very important to be fast. He took London. Let's keep going up. Get those Belgian divisions.
Ada perintah? Siap, laksanakan.
Okay, we can start this offensive.
Teruskan.
Now, in theory, you can check your score participation. 30% is pretty good. In theory, you could extend this a little bit more by encircling and killing a lot of British divisions if you feel like you need more war score. But honestly, I would just capitulate them fast. You never know what happens with the UK if you give them too much time. This is very satisfying to see. Well, I wouldn't hate one more encirclement down here, I'll be honest. Now, the fleet we can actually stop and preserve them for future battles, and The UK is now done, so
See ya.
this way we don't need to steal the entire Royal Navy and we're still fine. What we can do here is one last extra supplies. We'll make sure that we have all of the supplies we need, and look at these guys. With this we completed the Special Forces doctrines. Now these mountaineers are absolutely crazy. Look at their stats. Of course, the infantry guns will likely be nerfed, so at some point the stats will not be as good as these, but 27.6 and 624 soft attack, plus 24% in the mountains, 20% in the hills. This template, and 54, almost 55 organization. This template is just crazy. And of course later on you can bring it to a 31.2, maybe a 32... or 29.4, anyway, insane. Actually, I should go to the other fleet. This one.
Musuh mundur. Siap, laksanakan. Ada perintah? Ada perintah?
I guess if we fight a bit more with the Navy, we can get a bit more score, though. That could be nice. Okay, let's go back to Strike Force. Just in the channel, though. And then I'm going to kill all of these people, just to get some score.
Teruskan.
Boom, destroyed. The UK is taking so many casualties. Like, most of our casualties are still from the UK, probably from when we got intercepted on the way to Vichy France. But we absolutely disintegrated them. And Newcastle might be enough. Let's check. It is enough. So World War II is over. Actually, we got a very nice war participation. Very happy to see that. Let's make a save. As always, just in case you fuck up the peace conference. Oh, and by the way, in terms of timing, we had a few months before the US joins. Actually, like 5 months. I believe the US should join in August. So even if you're a bit late, if something doesn't go as smoothly as planned, you have enough time to invade the UK. The only problem here is if your fleet gets completely wiped, well, that's an issue. Other than that, you should be okay. Now let's see the final participation. 37%, guys, this is awesome. It's almost as high as Germany. Look at that. Fantastic. We got awesome results. And now it's time for a very long and boring peace conference that I will mostly skip for you. So let me just mention the absolute priorities here. And the rest doesn't really matter as much. So always the very strategic regions we want to puppet, including these ones. And then, as always, we want to annex this part of the United States, or better of Canada, to invade the United States. In case in future. Then after that, I usually prioritize taking these parts here. I will annex them even though we cannot core them. That's good. And then I think we can prepare an amazing trap for Germany in here. So what you can do here is you can puppet Belgium, you can puppet this region here. And then all of this part of France, you can leave to the Germans. So there will be a lot of Germans in here. And you can encircle and kill them very easily, especially because they shouldn't have access to Indonesian Occitania. So you can fight Germany, or you can hold the front on this side, and then you can call Belgium and destroy them in here. If you plan to fight Germany, of course, that's not mandatory. Now for the United Kingdom, also because it's a bit cheaper, as you can see, we're going to annex them entirely in here. Perfect. And the rest is free. Just balkanize and puppet as much as you want. Try to keep 2,000 points, more or less, for the Royal Navy. Even though we already have a decent navy. Yes, also this stuff, it's worth puppeting maybe, because we have a border with it. Where the fuck is Burma? Where is Burma? We have a lot of points. I feel like we can get a bit more. South Africa. Maybe we could puppet a bit more of the UK. Let's get Malta and Cyprus. Yeah, let me do something here. Maybe we can cut them off entirely. Yeah, okay, I think it's time to focus on what we absolutely need. We also have some extra points for war reparations and resource rights. I asked Paradox to add an option to add the tool, but I don't think that's happening, sadly. Oh my god. It's such a mess because I don't remember which ones we took. Oh well, I think we're happy. Let's take a huge amount of the Royal Navy, so we'll not have any naval issues for the rest of the run. And that's it. Confirm. Boom. The Netherlands-Indonesia Union of the United Kingdom. But also, guys, 238 factories in 1941 is absolutely decent. Yes, maybe manpower is the main limitation, but over time we can get a few more cores in the area. Sadly, we cannot get additional cores anywhere else. And the other problem with this run is this focus tree is a bit broken, because several of these things cannot be taken. For this, we need to be at war with Japan. Many of these things require us to be a subject of the Netherlands, which of course we are not anymore. This stuff here we can pick, but it's not super useful. This one is also broken, so we cannot get the extra research slot, unfortunately, because mismanaged administration is gone. This stuff cannot be picked. This stuff cannot be picked. So the focus tree is actually reduced to a minimum at this point. There is not much else that you can pick. It's the saddest part about this path, which is otherwise, as you can see, very powerful. And so, guys, we succeeded as the Dutch East Indies. This is the Netherlands-Indonesian Union, and it controls the UK. It is 1941, and we defeated the Allies. The US is out of the question. We have good manpower, we have a very solid infantry, and we have an absolutely insane Mountaineers template that you can see right here. And look at the stats above my head. This is absolutely crazy and a lot of fun to use. Also, we did Snow Mountaineers as Indonesia. What's better than that? Guys, I'm very curious to hear your thoughts about this run. In my opinion, this is by far the most powerful path with the new DLC in Thunder at Our Gates. And the Dutch East Indies is actually a fairly enjoyable and smooth run. It used to be a lot more challenging when we didn't have supplies in Spain because we couldn't move the capital. Now that that's fixed, this is a very, very cool run. So let me know if everything goes smoothly. I'm sure many of you will get some bad RNG with the events. The Netherlands will refuse some of them and you will be late. It's still okay, most of it's covered, but do let me know in the comments if you encounter any additional issues or if you have any questions. I always read and reply to every comment, so you can be sure you will be heard. Other than that, guys, if you enjoyed the video, liking, subscribing and commenting really helps. And then I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye bye!